Hello and welcome to our meeting today. We are proud to present to you our Downtown Development Deployment Plan. My name is Jeff Langford. I am the Downtown Development Director for Easton Economic Development Corporation.
And I'm Natalie Slater, Communications Manager for Easton Economic Development Corporation. Welcome.
And I'm Tracy Ward, Executive Director of the Easton Economic Development Corporation. We're so pleased to have you with us today. We're going to jump right into our presentation, but before we get started, here's a welcome and introductory statement from our Easton Economic Development Corporation Chairman, Scott Beatty.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I am Scott Beatty. Currently, I'm the CEO of Shore United Bank and Chairman of the Board of the Easton Economic Development Corporation. I've worked in downtown Easton for over 50 years, so I can assure you I'm passionate about its continued success. The EEDC is excited to incorporate the activities of our downtown as a part of our overall mission. Clearly, downtown Easton is the focal point of our town and our county. The continued health of downtown businesses is critical to the prosperity of the entire town and indeed all of Talbot County. Our mission is to incorporate the economic development of downtown as a part of a comprehensive strategy for economic development for the entire town of Easton. I will now hand the presentation over to Tracy Ward, Natalie Slater, and Jeff Langford to explain our process and discuss next steps.
Thank you, Scott. In 2013, the Town of Easton formed the Easton Economic Development Corporation, an organization that drives economic vitality, smart redevelopment, and business formation to foster a healthy quality of life for all. Our organization is one of an ecosystem of organizations that provide support to our businesses, including business membership organizations, the Talbot Chamber of Commerce, and the Easton Business Alliance, and of course, the Talbot County Department of Economic Development and Tourism. We work collaboratively with these organizations. As you know, the Town of Easton has asked the EEDC to provide recommendations to support our businesses and enhance our downtown. Today, we're going to walk you through our proposed process and next steps that will lead to those recommendations. In January of 2021, we anticipate having a concept plan that will be developed with you. The process began in July of this year when we hosted the downtown business meeting to discuss strategies and ideas that would support our businesses during these unprecedented times. The findings of this meeting were fairly straightforward. We found that while the full closure of Washington Street was not supported, there was a lot of support for increasing downtown, increasing seating for downtown through parklets, some street closures that would enhance walkability and support our retail, and most of all, supporting beautification initiatives that would generate interest in our downtown. Next, we're going to walk you through our proposed process and timeline that are going to lead to the recommendations in January. In the summer, of course, we had our meeting. Immediately following our meeting, the Easton Economic Development Corporation formed a downtown development committee. That committee has been working very hard, and as a result, that led to us hiring Jeff Langford, who has incredible amount of experience in this space from his former job with the Easton Business Alliance. And then we will, starting now, and Jeff will walk you through that process, begin to pull together our work groups that will lead to the recommendations to be presented to the Town of Easton in January for implementation for 2021. Next slide. Now here is a message from Tony Kern, the Easton Economic Development Corporation's treasurer and a member of our Downtown Development Committee.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tony Kern. I'm the treasurer of the Easton Economic Development Corporation and a volunteer board member. I'm also a member of the EEDC's Downtown Development Committee. And on behalf of my fellow committee members and Yonkers, Rose Potter, and Amy Haynes, I want to welcome you to the meeting and thank you for your time today. Back in July, we held a rather large business meeting focused on our downtown. As you may recall, it was in the historic Armory building, and it was also available on Zoom. We had lots of participation and a lot of great ideas and work to be done downtown that came out of that meeting. Today, I'm excited and pleased to ask you to join our work groups. All of us on the Downtown Development Committee look forward to working with all of you via the work groups to advance the many ideas and projects that have surfaced for our town. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Langford to tell you more about our work groups and further explain their role and the process. Jeff?
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Tracy, for walking us through how we've gotten to where we are now. And as Tony mentioned, we're very excited to announce the formation of our downtown development work groups. These are work groups that we know will do some very important work in the coming months and are going to tackle some ideas and some initiatives that a lot of the business members, a lot of the stakeholders in downtown Easton have said are important to them. The first work group that we'd like to talk about is the Interior Courtyard Project. This is a town initiative that we're happy to work hand in hand with them on. And the mission of this work group is to evaluate and advance the interior courtyard concept with stakeholders and property owners to develop a long-term plan. We'll get more into that here in a moment. Next is the Design and Community Connections work group. And this work group will amplify downtown Easton's charm and vibrancy while connecting the community with merchants, property owners, and local commerce. And last but not least, we are also pleased to present the Resource Development Work Group, which will raise funds, develop key resources, and organize a volunteer base that will support downtown Easton's development, revitalization, and of course, our wonderful events. So how will it work? Our downtown development work groups will be organized and meet at least once a month. They will be discussing ideas, brainstorming ideas, and we also are bringing to the table some ideas that we've learned from the meetings that we just discussed. No action is going to be taken until these ideas are vetted through the Downtown Development Committee, and then they will be presented to the Town Council and by extension, Easton businesses and residents. So that means that we'll have very clear transparency. The process will be easy to follow, and it will go through the process that we are actually tackling the projects that we know are going to be the most impactful. So it's very important that we do it this way. And we mentioned the projects. These are the ones that have been identified from those meetings and from our own conversation with business owners. And so let's first take a look at design and community connections projects. We would have them first take a look at outdoor seating, picnic areas, and parklets. This would be in addition to what we currently have downtown Easton, more areas where people can come bring food, enjoy the downtown as they're walking about. And of course, parklets are being very important as we're still facing this COVID-19 pandemic. Having more spaces for people to enjoy downtown Easton outdoors is very important now, and we believe will continue to be important moving forward. Along with our outdoor seating, we're also going to tackle streetscaping and downtown signage. This will help to make downtown a more vibrant and beautiful place, and it already is. It's a beautiful place as it is. We're going to polish that a little bit. And then we're going to make it easier to find places so that folks that are downtown that are new to the areas will feel right at home as they're here. We're going to have industry-specific events that will connect the merchants, the commerce that's so wonderful here in Easton, with the residents, with the visitors, with folks that come to Easton that want to enjoy our wonderful, wonderful businesses. And those will happen on a rotating basis, and those will be new and existing events. And then finally, for design and community connections, we're going to introduce a downtown ambassador program. And this will be a group of folks that will be downtown who will help point people in the right direction. They will be helping with, as it says, ambassador. They will be helping people understand downtown, knowing where to go, being the community outreach for folks that are going to be here in Easton. And we're really excited to get that going. Next, we'll look at resource development projects. One of the first things that we're going to have them do is fundraising, and so they can support these development programs and events. We know that funding is there for many of these ideas, but we want to grow that pot. And in some cases, there is no pot. We need to actually develop the resources to fund the ideas. So that'll be very important from day one. And then we're also going to recruit volunteers. We're going to engage the volunteers, and we're going to train the volunteers. And they're going to be a valuable asset to all of our initiatives. And in that process, we're going to celebrate and show appreciation to those volunteers, as well as develop awards for our downtown businesses that already do such great work. This is important because not only does it, show appreciation, but it tells a story of great businesses, great work that's happening, and we're going to push that story out there as much as possible to get those feel-good vibes out there to the general public. And then last but not least, we also are going to ask our volunteers to help us with polling and data collection, because as we mentioned earlier, we do not intend on doing anything that doesn't have data and support to back it up. And these are just a few of the first ones that we want the work groups to tackle. But the work groups will develop additional projects as priorities are identified. We want them to come to the table with ideas that we can also vet through the process. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Tracy, and she's going to talk more about the interior courtyard project.
Thanks, Jeff. The interior courtyard project is something that actually resulted from a study that was conducted decades ago. Another study in the 90s sort of brought that up to speed, the concept, and since then it's been dusted off. The block that we're talking about is basically the interior of the block between Dover, Goldsboro, Harrison, and Washington. So it's the interior of that square block, which includes two fairly large areas that could be considered courtyards, if you will. Currently, they're being used as parking, largely for parking and access for things like trash and other services. The concept is to explore the potential for adapting these spaces for something that would be pedestrian friendly, potentially provide additional seating to our downtown, also additional opportunities for our businesses to capture new revenues through new retail strategies, as well as the property owners themselves to be able to use their properties, but not only on the facing street sides of Washington and Harrison, Dover, and Goldsboro, but also from the rear facing sides as well. So this is more of a long-term project that's going to require some study and quite a lot of cooperation from a number of people, including our businesses and our property owners. And this is a committee that is basically being led by the Town of Easton and Lynn Thomas, the town planner.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy. Now, we've also had a lot of folks questions about events and programming downtown Easton. So now it's going to take a moment now to explain the events that we currently see in Easton and talk more about the events that we hope to see in 2021. Natalie?
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, first and foremost, we want you to know that the town-supported events are not going away. And in fact, we're going to be adding new events in 2021. And of course, all of this depends on our pandemic, our COVID-19 pandemic. But for now, the town support for existing events will be facilitated through Easton Economic Development Corporation. Organizations and community partners will submit an event plan and budget for funding. The downtown development committees will support these events, new ideas, and fundraising efforts to expand activities. As I was saying before, COVID-19 has impacted our events this year, and we continue for 2021. We would love to have the same events, but it all depends on the COVID-19. So community connections and downtown projects will be mindful of the ongoing pandemic. Initiatives will be focused on supporting businesses so we can all provide adequate consumer reassurances. Public safety is #1 priority for us.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. And I echo that sentiment. We all have seen the reports that are coming out now. So the work that we're going to be doing is going to be COVID-19 forward thinking. And with any luck, we can pivot very quickly to business back to normal as usual, but we're certainly going to be mindful of that, and we're going to take precautions as necessary. So how to get involved? What are the next steps? Well, we hope that you participate in our post-meeting survey. The link that you use to get to this meeting is actually where you will find that survey. Your feedback is the driving force behind all the things that we're doing. In fact, as we mentioned, those projects and initiatives that we're going to bring to the work groups initially came from the community. So we need more of that, and we want to have that from this survey. So please take that after you're done watching this video. Work groups need your support, and we need you to join those work groups if you really want to engage in these projects and ideas. So reach out, join one of those work groups. You can contact us, and we'll have that information on the next slide, but also that information can be accessed through the survey. You can let us know which groups that you're interested in, and we'll reach out to you directly. Once we have all of this together, we're going to move very, very quickly to get the plans approved and have our projects in place for early 2021. Because as we've mentioned, it's very, very important that we bring people to town safely. We have things for them to do. We're providing them with the opportunities to do those things safely. All of that is very important, and it's going to be one of our main objectives moving forward. So again, feedback and input, join a work group, support our initiatives. How can you support our initiatives? Join the groups, the downtown work groups, and then also we'll be looking for sponsorships and support. We'll have more information about that available once those initiatives are fleshed out. So here's that information, as I mentioned, how to get in touch. All of our email addresses are presented here. And of course, please do not forget to take the survey, join one of our work groups. All that information can be found at the link that you use to access this meeting. But again, if you need that link, it's on the bottom of this slide right here. So we thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Thanksgiving coming up very, very soon. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you.